Welcome back! When we left off, we just discovered Redcliffe Farms on our way to talk to the Horsemaster here. See if we can't get some mounts for our soldiers. We need to talk to his people also. There's lots of busy work to be done around here. Alright, and want to do some exploring first. There is a Fade Rift I see off in the distance. Get rid of that. It's kind of a nuisance. And of course there's random loot and things lying around. There's a cave with a rune pattern in it. I believe it's the Frost Rune. Definitely want that. That's something I'm going to make as soon as I can get some blank rune stones. Which, we could probably go get some right now. At Valroyo. There should be a dwarven merchant there. Right near the front entryway to the plaza. But, I don't know. We'll get there eventually. It's not any big rush right now. I did find a note close to where the wolves attacked us when we first got here. Solus was talking about the, pack of wolves may be possessed by a demon or something. There may be a story behind that. We'll find that out later. But the note is leading us to a hidden treasure along a riverbank, and that's basically north of where we're at now. So as soon as I get done with this Fade Rift, we'll go grab that. And that's going to get some very useful gear for Varric, at least for right now. Probably not for too much longer. We're probably pretty close to out-leveling it, but I imagine it's better than what he's wearing at the moment. It'd be a rogue coat that's particular to him. I think he's the only one that can wear it. I believe it's called a Carta coat. Oh, well, I say he's the only one. I think it's specific to a dwarf only. Let's put it that way. I guess if I was playing a dwarven rogue myself, then perhaps I could wear it also. I don't know. And this Fade Rift is probably around level 5 or 6, I'm guessing. So no worries here. This should be pretty easy. Followers did all the work, didn't they? Nice. See if it drops anything worth the crap. I can't really complain about the drops so far in the game, but the Fade Rifts have been crapping on me. And they crapped on me again. Okay, well, whatever. I would like a either enhanced Mighty Blow or enhanced Block and Slash ring would be just fantabulous. Alright, another landmark. Boy, there are a lot of landmarks in the hinterlands. I mean, like, a lot of landmarks. When we go deal with the mages in that area, I think there's at least 2 or 3 just in that one small area. Okay, now level up time. Let's see. That probably wouldn't be a bad passive to have eventually. Now look at this. Trust the Steel. That's going to raise the effectiveness of my guard. And then Cutting Words. When I stack that with Cutting Words on with Blackwall or Cass, whoever I have in my party at the time, even if I don't necessarily need a tank, even if I could probably go in, say, 2 mages rogue, 2 rogues and a mage, whatever, and just go straight DPS or whatever, I'm going to keep the tank in there along with me so that we can stack that Cutting Words. And that's essentially a 40% damage buff to my party at all times. And then Solus with his plus 50% barrier. Oh, yes, please. Plus 50% barrier. And it's not just for the protection part of it, but it's a twofold thing. Actually, it's kind of like a threefold thing. Stronger barriers, obviously better protection. But the longer the barrier lasts, not only does it give us extra mana and stamina regeneration for everyone that has an active barrier on them, all right, but also the cooldown for the next barrier is as such that okay, there's a built-in thing where when the barriers are exhausted on their own without being knocked down by an enemy, like say Solus has a barrier on himself and he doesn't take a hit, we're taking all the hits. Well, our barriers vanish, but his stays up for a while. Okay, when his goes away on its own, assuming we can keep all the heat up off of him, and maybe, say, Varric too, or whatever, for every barrier that goes away on its own, it cools down his the barrier itself by like 4 seconds. Okay, so if we can get 2 barriers to go away on their own, that's like 8-second cooldown. In fact, essentially before the barriers are even done, he could essentially cast another barrier. Okay, and if they last 50% longer, then that makes it even that much better. The barriers are that much harder to knock down by enemies, and then by the time they do extinguish on their own, he's ready to cast another one. So he could essentially spam it. I mean, and that's in an ideal world. It doesn't always work like that, but that's generally the idea. And so it's doing more than just one thing. It's not just more protection. Well, it's providing us extra mana and stamina regeneration for a longer period of time. Hopefully shortening his cooldowns, all right, making it to where he can keep barriers up longer and more often. That's the general idea. It's nice if most or even all of your passives and abilities serve more than just one purpose. Like, it's one thing, like say you have a lightning spell, all right? Well, if that lightning spell is an upgrade where it can paralyze enemies, for example. Well, paralyze is good if, say, your other party members have bonuses to paralyzed or stunned enemies, for example. They can do bonus damage. Then you're doing more than just one thing. You're not just doing some quick lightning damage and holding that guy in place. You're also setting him up for a combo with somebody else to do extra damage, and so on and so forth. So just keeping all those things in mind, if you're about to pick something and you go, what does this do for everyone else? Forget the fact that this looks like it just does some decent damage by itself. Does it have any extra effects? Does it have any debuffs on it? Does it have any buffs for everyone else? Does it does it set up my guys to do extra stuff? Stay alive longer, do more damage, take less damage, whatever the case may be. Stun enemies more often, higher critical chance for the whole party, not just me, that kind of stuff. And so keeping all that in mind, party synergy really comes into play, and next thing you know, once you have all those pieces in place, everybody's twice as strong as they would be by themselves. Hunting bow schematic, that actually might come in handy later. We really want masterwork schematics. Those, much later, there will eventually be slots for an extra ingredient to basically put a perk on your gear. On top of, all the other buffs, we've seen like, extra strength, extra constitution, melee defense, whatever. Magic defense, that kind of stuff, fire resistance, whatever. But, when you can put perks on like, a 10% chance to trigger a certain perk, or a 10% chance to there's one thing, certain ingredients you can create a 10% chance or even more, higher chance than that, to add 10% extra stats to your gear. So like if you were going to make a weapon that, I don't know, does 200 points of damage, you can make it do 220 instead. And if it had like, say, I don't know, a 10% critical chance, it might be 11%. Instead, that type of stuff. And all kinds of other added little bonuses and stuff that you can put on there. We'll get into that when the time comes. We have to get a certain smithing operation going and have certain NPCs in place. And then once we do that, it's on. We can start making some really cool things. And about that time, we should start unlocking, the schematics that
economy relies upon lyrium.
Mostly.
Allow for neat gear.
Got the Nug market cornered as well.
And the dwarves of Orzammar have never studied lyrium?
If they have, they certainly haven't shared anything up here. Why?
It is the source of all magic, save that which mages bring themselves. Dwarves alone have the ability to mine it safely. I wondered if they had sought to learn more.
Oh, you know what I forgot?
Folks back in Orzammar don't care much about anything but tradition.
There is a magic shard up here, but I didn't stop at the friggin' ocularum up towards the front of the farms. They're basically behind, just off to the side of the Horsemaster's house. And normally I stop there on the way in, and I didn't even think about it, and now I wish I had, because there's several shards that we could kind of grab while we're doing all this stuff. And now I'm going to have to backtrack and come back here later. Did this out of order. Kind of a waste of time. Yeah, there should be a shard right down at the end of that ledge. Okay, well I can at least pick up my rune pattern while I'm here. After I do a little gardening, of course. Right? I mean, you know, important things first, right? Okay, so up here should be this little cave. It should have one of those Veil Fire fonts. Which we need souls for. What's an RPG without dark caves and torches? Little note, FYI. These guys right here, you can farm them. They'll respawn in this little stairwell tunnel thingy, and they have a really high percentage to drop rings. Of course, I don't get one there, but often they actually do drop rings. There we go, right there. Now, I personally can't use that right now, but and I don't think it's just one type. Although odds are probably higher that you'll get something specific to a rogue. Not always. I've gotten rings, even for my character, off those guys. But, yeah, you can essentially just walk away a little bit and come back and keep killing them over and over again. I'm not going to do that here, but you can. There we go, Frost Rune pattern. Another note, and I didn't know this until, I learned this, oh man, what was his name? You know, I need to go look up the guy's video, because it was actually a really cool video. Basically, what he said was, the rune patterns, in fact, if I can go find it, I'm going to leave a link below, you know, to give the guy credit, because I thought this was really cool. If that was, for example, the last Frost Rune pattern I found, right? I mean, I'm here now, but let's say I didn't discover it right now. I went off and found the other two. Or, well, maybe there may actually be more than that, but there's only 3 total that I know of. You have Frost, then Master Frost, and then Superb Frost. And the same goes with Spirit and Fire runes and Lightning runes and all that. Okay, let's say I found the other 2 first. When I discovered this one, it would be a Superb Frost rune pattern. But since I found this one first, it's just regular. So the next one, wherever I find it, there's one in what's that place? The something. Du Leon, something of the lion, Impri de Leon, is that how you say it? Anyway, there's one there, and there's another Frost Rune, I believe, in the Western Approach. I think that's right. I don't know. We'll see them when we get there. But by the time I get there, you know, the next one I find will be Master, and the last one will be Superb, regardless of what order I find them in. Like the first time I discovered them, I went to the Western Approach first, went to the Impri after that. But if I went in the opposite order, then by the time I got to the Western Approach last, well, it would be a Superb then. Doesn't matter. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool. It's fixed locations, but not a fixed quality of rune pattern. Just depends on which order you find them in. Alright, now what I'm trying to do here... Say, well, why are you jumping on this rock, dude? There is a mosaic piece up here. It's the mysterious 11th piece. If you found 10 and have a hard time finding the last 2, well, here's the 11th one. All right, and oh, you know what? I need a horse. See, I did this way out of order. I should have not only stopped at the Ocularum, but I should have stopped at the Horsemaster first. Very first thing, got that out of the way, but I wanted to do some exploring. Look around a little bit. I really love this area. It's really... It's like a farmstead, surrounded by nature. I mean, it's beautiful. Look at this. This is almost photorealistic here. This is crazy. The sound of the waterfalls in the background. I could kind of just hang out here if it weren't for the fact that they spawn enemies every 10 seconds, even on top of you while you're standing there. But, yeah, I wanted to explore, and I should have gone to the Horsemaster and the Ocularium first. So what I'll do is I'm just going to head straight back there. Doesn't even matter. I may even stop back at camp again and re-up on all my stuff. Would have been nice to do this in one, just make one route. Kind of a clockwise route where we go over there, grab Varric's coat, stop by, grab the magic shards, get our rune pattern, solve the Astrarian puzzle, and then work our way back here, talk to the Horsemaster, do his thing, and then get out of here. But
I suppose this must be Master Dennett.
oh well. Let's see. Can I catch that? Yep. Good deal. Save me walking around. Alright, first let's go locate all the shards around here. Then we'll go talk to the Horsemaster, and that'll probably be about it. And then from there we can finish up the quest here, and once we're done with all this...
Sarah and I were just talking about you. We need you to settle a question.
Oh, this is hilarious.
Sarah's involved. So this question will be offensive.
Yes, probably. Sorry. You make friends with spirits in the Fade. So, are there any that are more than just friends? If you know what I mean.
Oh, really?
Look, it's a natural thing to be curious about.
For a 12-year-old?
It's a simple yes or no question.
Nothing about the Fade or spirits is simple. Especially not that.
So you do have experience in these matters.
I did not say that.
Don't panic. It'll be our little secret.
Ass.
Now who's 12?
Have you been messing around with spirits? He goes, really? Seriously? Really? That's awesome. Alright. I don't even remember what I was saying.
Look around.
Alright, let's find our hidden bottle, loot the place, talk to this guy, and then we'll,
Inquisition, eh?
Oh, yeah.
Here you're trying to bring order back.
I know what I was saying.
Time someone did.
We need to go,
Watch yourself, Inquisition.
back to the war table, and we're going to be given a mission to build some watchtowers here in a second. And so once we planted all the stakes showing where the watchtowers need to be built, we can go to the war table, have Cullen build them for us, and while we're waiting for that, we can come back here, deal with the mages, go back to the war table, get our rewards, essentially acknowledge that they're finished, and then come back here and report that they're done. We should be able to turn everything in at once. That's in an ideal world. We'll see if it works like that.
Name's Dennett. I served our Leman for 30 years as Horsemaster. I hear your Inquisition is looking for mounts.
It is. Can you help us?
Not at the moment. I can't just send 100 of the finest horses in Ferelden down the road like you send a letter. Every bandit between here and Haven would be on them like flies on crap. You'll have mounts once I know they won't end up as a cold winter's breakfast.
If you have a problem with me personally, I'd like to know about it.
What? I've got no quarrel with the Canary. No idea how you ride without your feet dragging on the ground. But that's between you and the mount. My wife Elena manages the farms, and Bron's in charge of my guards. They'll tell you what they need. Until then, you deserve something better than whatever knock-kneed plow-neg they gave you. The chestnut over there is a purebred Ferelden forder. Take care of him, and he'll take care of you, Inquisition. Good to see you, Inquisition.
The refugees down at the crossroads could use your help.
Right now, any food I give those luckless bastards might as well go to the rebel mages or bandits. Talk to my man Bron. He'll tell you what those folks need to protect themselves. Once that's done, I'll give as I can. I've no problem with charity, long as it's not wasted.
What can you tell me about the wilderness around here?
Got some old ruins in the forest, from long before any king of Ferelden. The lakes are pretty, though when the weather's odd, you hear tell of spirits. Beyond that, my daughter Sienna set up a track just over there. Fool girl likes to race the horses.
You said your wife Elena is in charge of the farms.
Yes. A lot of families work our land. They work for us and we take care of them. Elena knows the farms better than I do. Knows what they need. I imagine not being killed by anything would be a start, though.
You said you were once Al Eamon's stable master.
Master of the mounts. Fereldans don't appreciate horses like they do in Orlais, but they knew my name in Val Royeaux. My horses took sick less and carried a man longer than any of those fancy prancers they've got. You take care of my people, and I'll make sure your Inquisition is riding right.
Farewell.
Make her be with you.
Alright. So now help his people. Essentially what he's saying, take care of my people and I'll take care of yours. Fair enough. We're going to ask a lot of this guy later, so...
I heard what my man said. If you want our horses, then we need our farmers back safe in their fields. Since the breach appeared, the wolves have gone mad. They come after our men like beasts with the water sickness. You deal with the wolves, and our farmers will be safe again.
How are these wolves acting differently from normal?
Normal wolves go after livestock, but come at them with a torch and a blade and they run. These beasts, though, it's like darkspawn during the Blight, or when the dead rose to attack us. They're possessed, or something like it. I've lost too many men to the beasts. I won't endanger more.
Farewell.
Good day to you.
What's funny is right now I'm playing Origins at the same time as this, kind of back and forth. And I'm basically at Redcliffe right now, dealing with the very thing she was just talking about. Of course, it looked a lot different then.
The Master doesn't want me handing those refugees weapons until they've got any hope of defending themselves. If you put up a few watchtowers, we'd all have more warning before the next attack.
You said you had a way to help the refugees.
I do. There are too many hills in these parts, good places for raiders and bandits to gather. I've marked good spots on the map. You set up watchtowers there, I'll talk to the Master and get your people weapons.
Farewell.
And that's what we'll do. Go mark all those watchtower spots. Maybe even go over here and race the horse a little bit. Matter of fact, I think that's what I'm going to do now, just to get that out of the way. And I won't suffer you through it. It's essentially riding around this little farmstead here. A few different routes. You run between the posts and make it back in a certain amount of time. And after 3 of those, she tells you did a great job. That's about it.
Trying out one of my courses.
What kind of racing are you talking about?
I set up a course over there with stakes in the ground. It's too narrow to race directly, so I time it with a sandglass. You try to ride the course before I call time.
I'll try one of your courses.
Wonderful. Get your horse and I'll set up the stakes. You make time, I'll throw in some of the dress money Father gave me. Consider it a donation to the Inquisition.
Alright, so I'm going to go run around in circles. And then when I get back, we can go do all the other little side quests here. Set up, get the watchtowers ready, and then we'll head back to Haven and have Colin actually make them. Alright, sounds like we've got our work cut out for us. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. If you want to subscribe, hit that button over my head. Alright, for all my Inquisition, click the top box. The rest of my videos, click the bottom box. Remember to like and share and comment. Don't be shy to say hi. I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.